Hey guys, welcome into Big Moe. I have an amazing show for you today. I'm going to tell you 17 different tools that I use to start my own business that are extremely important. Almost any business needs these, but I've got a really big marketing background and I've been really successful with this side gig. And a lot of these tools are the reason for it. So I'm going to go over all these tools with you. I go rapid fire. So if there's something you think you've got nailed down, great. Stick on through it until the next item. So today I'm going to show you about these tools and how to create them. Most of them are free or exceptionally inexpensive. All right. So then my next video, I'm going to show you how I use these tools, but it's really important to learn how to create them first. So let's get rolling. All right, so the first thing you're going to need to figure out is your equipment. And I'll tell you that I use Ventrac equipment, as any of you regular viewers know. And how did I choose that? Well, I was moving out of the country and we bought 6 acres of land, and I have 150 yard wide, 20 to 30 yard, depending on where you are, tall slope that got as steep as 25 degrees. So I had to have something significant to take care of mowing all that property. And I could use the option that the seller of the property used, which was a $20,000 single-use Cub Cadet front wheel steering mower, right? Or I could spend 30 grand, $10,000 more, and get a multi-use Swiss Army knife of property management equipment, Ventrac, and they make over 35 attachments, and it gave me the possibility of doing a side gig. And the great thing about Ventrac is that it retains its value really well. So strong resale value, and there's a strong market for it also. So if I didn't like the side gig, or if it didn't go well, or if I just of it and didn't want to try it, then I could sell the equipment easily. So the third thing is you need to decide what type of work you're going to do. And I decided that I was going to buy the Ventrac Tough Cut deck. The bush hog is what we call it in this area. And that I would start off with that. It cost $4,000. In the future, I wasn't sure what it was going to be. So I thought, well, it could be Ventrac Power Rake, which is what I did. And that's a phenomenal piece of equipment. And it's extremely profitable. So, but at the time I started off, it was just going to be the bush hogging and then see where I went. So the fourth item is you need to decide who are your customers going to be. And this is a guess. All right. So I thought, well, is it going to be business or consumers? So we live in the horse capital of the world. So we have billionaires that own massive horse farms that are thousands of acres large. And we have horse farm participants that are just one-man shows that rent stalls from a local training center, one of the many that are around. So you have this wide spectrum of horse farms. And so I thought the big horse farms that are really pricey and have endless supplies of money are not going to need, because they've got armies of people taking care of the properties and they look amazing. They look like golf courses constantly. So I thought, well, it's probably going to be a smaller operation that's going to need me. So I thought that's what I was going to be doing. It turned out to be that's only about 10 to 15% of my business. And the rest of it is all consumers that have properties that need gravel driveways and bush hogging. All right, guys, the fifth item is your business name. So let's talk about 4 key important points to your business name. The first point is it's got to be brief and unique. Okay. You're not going to use the same name that everybody else uses, Central, whatever your state is, Central Kentucky's Lawn Services, or Lexington this or Lexington that, whatever the city name is that you're in, or the area, if you're in South Carolina, Low Country this or Low Country that. Here it's Bluegrass. Everything is named Bluegrass or Thoroughbred. Don't use the same name everybody else uses. Go differently, make it absolutely different. So that's the first part, unique. Make sure it works with the type of people that you're going to be selling to. All right. So does it need to be really high-end professional sounding, or can it be more mid-market country sounding like mine, Big Moe? So before you come up with a name, you've got to get on GoDaddy.com and search for domains that is available in a domain name that you can use as your name. The second item about domain names is if it's easily misspelled, then buy the misspelling also. It'll cost you $5 a year. Okay. What am I talking about? Well, my last name is Jet. It's an unusual last name. And so I had name recognition when I left the bank and started my title company. So I called my title company Jet Title. Well, that created a problem. JetTitle.com, all run together, has 3 T's in a row. Well, everybody would invariably leave out that third T when they were typing an email or trying to find us online. So I bought the domain name with only 2 T's, right? The other thing is you might want to consider is to buy domain names that have an S on it. People add S's to names all the time. Why? I have no idea. So jettitles.com is what I bought. So, bigmotractor.com is the first one I got. Then I got Big Moe's Tractor, and then Big Moe Tractors, right? So I bought each of these, $4, $5 a year. Just buy them. And you can point them all to your proper domain. So buy all the ones that are easily misspelled or that people make common mistakes with so that you can be easy to find. The fourth and fifth items about domain names is that you're going to be able to get these on either GoDaddy.com. You can get your domain name. You can buy an email. You can do a website, cheap, inexpensive there for free. And they're only going to charge you the annual hosting fees, which are, $50 a year, whatever it might be, $100 a year. It's inexpensive. All right, number 7, the item is your email address. And it sounds really simple, but just a couple of things to keep in mind for your email address. I strongly recommend you use the word info, I-N-F-O, at your domain name. And then if you have multiple people that are going to be working with you, like maybe a spouse who might do billing or what have you, then maybe have a quotes at your domain name, or billing at your domain name, or even customer service at your domain name. Why? Because you might want to sound more professional and look a little bit more professional instead of using your first names. There's no problem with using your first names other than it might sound real small time and people might not think that they can rely upon you. So what you want to do is you want to build an image that you know what you're doing and that you can take care of it. So you're not saying you're some giant company. Everybody's going to know that you're not, but you're going to appear professional and people are going to want to do business with you. Okay, everybody, now item number 8 is your slogan. So my general rule of thumb on slogans as a marketing guy is that you don't need one unless your name does not imply what it is that you do. Okay, so for example, when I had a title company, it was Jet Title, and everybody around here knows what a title company is. Plus, I wasn't marketing to the general public. I was marketing to loan officers and real estate agents, and they all know what a title company is. That's the only people who are intended to see my signs and know exactly what it is. So think about who your subject is that you're going to be advertising to, that you want them to know what it is, all right, as far as your business name goes, and then determine as to whether or not you're going to need a slogan. The second item about slogans is you can really only use it if you have lots of space. So where would it fit? Maybe on the side of a truck, on the back of a truck, on a big side of a van. If you're going to use great big signs, yes, but the signs that I use, there's absolutely no way a slogan can be used. You need to have small signs for a variety of reasons, which I'll cover when I go over the signs in a moment. But you're going to need a whole lot of space. So where do you have a whole lot of space other than the places I've just said? Well, maybe on your website. You can be a little bit more long form on your website and on flyers, which I'll talk about in a moment. Some people initially think that they're really cute, coming up with a name and a logo and a play on words. Everybody thinks they're really cute coming up with plays on words, but it might indicate something or connotate something else than what you really want it to be. So just because it's a neat play on words doesn't mean it's right. It's the right thing to do for you. Okay. So think about how it looks and how it comes across, and that you have no negative connotations or alternative connotations. The reason I don't need one is mine says, my signage says, "We fix gravel driveways. Call Big Moe," and my phone number is huge, right? So it's extremely obvious what I do and who to call. The last item is about a slogan. The third item is don't say what everyone else does. And everyone says, where service counts, or where, service, our quality is our people, or, every single thing you've ever seen that everyone always says. Don't use those. Use something different that's unique, that makes you stand apart. So those are my slogan do's and don'ts. Number 9 is your phone number. So a couple of do's and don'ts and pros and cons about phone numbers. The first item is you can use your cell phone number. The second is you can use a service. Let's talk about each of those. If you use your cell number, it's free essentially because you've already got it. However, you're going to have to answer every single call that comes in, whether or not it's going to be spam or not. Okay. If it says you get a spam warning or a sales call warning, fine, don't answer those. But there are going to be several that are going to come in. You're going to have to answer it. And the issue is everybody now, since cell phone numbers have been portable for many years, you're going to have a variety of people calling you with all kinds of different area codes on their phone numbers. And you're not going to know if it's a spam sales call, telemarketer, or if it's potential business coming in the door. Right. So you're going to have to answer everything, which is what I have to do. And that really sucks. So I do not like using my cell number for that reason. The second option you can do is a phone service. And what do I mean by that? Well, for my software company, what I use is Grasshopper. Okay. And the great thing about Grasshopper is that I've got a cool 800 number, right, that I can put down. I have up to 3 extensions for me and my business partner, and another one if we need it. All right. And so people call on the 800 number and it gets routed to my cell phone and it says Grasshopper at the top. So I know that it's a business call and I answer it in my business voice. All right. Now, my software company is very professional, so I need to be alerted instantly that that it is for business, because I don't want to just say hello. And if I'm in a noisier environment, if I'm at lunch or out to dinner with friends, what have you, and I get a call from a business environment, I'm not going to answer it right there with all the background noise. I'm going to let it go to my professional voicemail, because you can have all your voicemails recorded by a professional sounding voice for an extra $75. You get all your messages done, and you can choose the voice, male or female. You can choose, from an English accent to whatever. These are real people out there that do real voiceovers for you. So it sounds extremely professional, and you get alerted right up front. The con to using a phone service like this, like Grasshopper, is that it costs money. It costs me $500 a year, right? So I use it for my software company. I do not use it for my side gig. Number 10, your logo. A couple of things, 5 things about your logo. All right. First, you can get it designed, and it's extremely easy and very cheap to do so. So just Google logo design options, and you're going to be able to get a logo for $20, $25, $30, maybe $50. You're going to be able to get a professionally designed logo, a few options, and a couple of revisions. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to look much better than not having a logo or trying to design it yourself and it looks super cheap. So please don't make it look super cheap. The second item about your logo is try to use your business name. Consider the work type that you're in, whether or not you want an illustration or a piece of clip art on there that looks really sharp. Not that everyone uses of your maybe equipment, which could be Ventrac. It could be, just a regular tractor. It could be whatever equipment you choose to use. Your slogan describing your work, if your name does not describe your work. All right. So that's the second item, is use your business name. The third item is choose your colors. Real easy. The fourth thing is I had my buddy do mine for me, who had done all the stuff for my software company, and it cost me $500. And I did that before I knew that I could get it done really cheaply. However, if you have some extra money and you know somebody who's extremely creative and does a really good job, like my guy, that was his first option he sent to me. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks fantastic. The remaining 3 items are don'ts. Okay. So don't use funny spellings or backwards letters or, custom cabinetry. Don't spell it with a K. Don't, use lowercase backwards K's as their logo. It looks so awful. It looks like a 5-year-old did it. The sixth thing is don't put the LLC or INC or your corporate status in your logo or your name anywhere. There's no need for it. There's no purpose for it. It doesn't serve anything. Yes, that's your legal tax filing status, but it doesn't need to be on your logo and look crap, junk it up. All right. So leave that off. Okay. And the last thing is don't use quotation marks. So if you happen to use a slogan, don't put quotation marks on it. Best service in town. You see everybody misusing quotation marks. Don't do that. All right. Don't use quotation marks. You're in good shape. The key thing to remember about your logo is you want it to represent the image that you desire people to receive. Okay. So when you have different versions of the logo that you're presented, run these past your buddies, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Run it past whoever you trust and get their opinion as to what do they feel like? What do they think when they see this? But I would encourage you to not use a symbol or words or a play on words that detracts from what your company's name is and what it is that you do. So that's my logo advice. Number 11, messaging. You need to keep it simple and short. These are words, photos, videos, everything that you put out there is messaging. So let's talk about it, okay? What words do you use? Well, you need to talk about the problems you solve, which I do. For example, I say, we fix gravel driveways on my signage and on my website. How? It's the equipment that we use. I talk about the equipment and how I can make it happen. So for example, with my bush hogging, I talk about how it is lower center of gravity, it's wide and spread out, and I can go on slopes that are twice the slopes of traditional farm tractors, steep, wooded, narrow, because it's only 68 inches. It's not a 16-foot batwing. I can get in between fence posts. I can get in between and around trees, wooded areas, and places that are isolated because I can crawl over stuff and get to it easily. So that's how you solve it. So the next thing is why you're different. And that is that I show up when I say I'm going to show up, and that I always call everybody back. You would be surprised how many people, contractors, do not call people back and do not show up when they say they're going to show up. It's not rocket science. So here's the thing. If you're going to experience some sort of difficulty, or if you're running late, inform your customer as soon as you know you're running late. Let them know. Even if they're not planning on being there, let them know. Maybe they've arranged for someone else to meet you there. And it's really important. So keep the customer in the know always. All right. And so that's one of the things I tell customers. And that is that, I've got a white collar background, right? Working in a bank, and I show up when I say I'm going to show up, and I call when I say I'm going to call, and I send them quotes when I say I'm going to send them quotes, and I do what I say I'm going to do. It's not rocket science, but you'd be surprised how many people, in the contracting world do not, do those things. I mean, they could be excellent, excellent painters, excellent this, excellent plumbers, excellent that, but they don't communicate. It's amazing how many problems that causes, and how many times they find someone else that will call them back. They'll drop the first person, even if the first person was good, because they're not dependable. Okay. So that's the words. And you always have a call to action, call today. All right. Second item under messaging is photos. Show people what you do. All right. So on all the outlets that you have, you're not going to be able to do it on signs, but on flyers and on your websites, on your email, which we'll talk about in a moment, on your email signature and everything else that you have, use photos, use videos, make it easier for people to see what it is that you do. All right. Because people are going to call you based on seeing your signs, but they're not going to know exactly how you solve the problem. So you can show them. The fourth item is in your messaging, you need to make it known what your service area is. Okay. And I strongly encourage you not to use that in your name. Like Central Kentucky's this and Bluegrass that and the other thing and whatever. Don't use those things that everyone else uses as far as your service area. Just put it on your website. Okay. All right. So that's messaging. Number 12 is your website. You can create a website for free on Wix.com or GoDaddy.com. They've got plenty of templates in there. On both of those sites, you can also get your domain names and your email address and create your website all right there. It might cost you $100 a year for them to host all that for you. It's extremely easy. It's so easy that I actually created a website, and I've never done it before, but I did it a month ago. It took me 2 full days, and it was a pain. But in 2 full days, I had a free website for my buddy. I didn't charge. You need to get me some bourbon. He's like, what do you want? I said, I want 2 bottles of nice bourbon. So he brought me some awesome bourbon. It's relatively easy, and it might save you $1,000. All you need really is 1 page. All right. So you do all the thinking and creating in a Word document, typing up different stuff, figuring out what you like, what looks good for the messaging that we talked about earlier. And then you just put that messaging on the website, and it's pretty easy. Just remember that you don't want to give everything away on your website. The tendency is to explain everything and go into a huge amount of detail. But the primary purpose of a website is to have people call you so they can look through, see what you do. They can see photos. You need to have all the photos on the website. You need to have your videos on the website. Now, if you don't want to create videos, I'll talk about this in a little bit. Great. You don't have to. You can pull videos off of your manufacturer's website of your equipment. Ventrac has got a great suite of videos and photos on their website. I think it's like on their media page is typically where it is, and it's license free. You can use it, and you don't have to create videos. You don't have to create photos, right? Go ahead and drag those photos. Plus, there's tons of photos all over the internet that are free that you can use. They can instantly see what it is that you do, where you do it. Like if you're doing houses and you want to, like say you're mowing, just regular mowing lawns, get a picture of a gorgeous home and a gorgeous striped lawn in front of it. And that could be what you use, right? Or you can take a picture of you on an actual job. So you can see how I create videos in my next video about how I do that. Item number 13, create profiles. All right, so you need to have profiles, and they're very easy to do, and they're free. Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, all right? You don't have to be a Facebook fan. You don't have to be on Facebook. You don't have to ever get on it once you create it, but you want it to be easy for people to find you. That's the key. Make it easy for people to find you in the normal places, the most likely places, the most common places that people go to find people of what you do. They're going to check up on you and see if they can find it. All right. Now, if they're a big Facebook user, they're going to look on Facebook first. If they're a Google user, which most people are, they're going to check Google. All right. If they're on LinkedIn, if they're really professional people, they're going to check on LinkedIn. All right. You need to be able to be found and have the same messaging, same bunch of photos, same bunch of videos on all of those outlets. And you're going to need to update these as much as you want. Now, I might get in my Facebook page once or twice a year and add some new photos in there, new videos. Maybe you got a really cool thank you note. Take a picture of it, post that. Now, the key of all these different profiles, the key is going to be your Google profile. All right. So when you Google something, you're going to have the results, and then there's going to be a map on the right, and it'll say A, B, C, different locations of people on there. So when you Google gravel driveway repair, or you Google bush hogging, whatever it is that you're doing on your side gig, you will see that it comes up, and you need to claim your name. So you'll be there, and it'll say Big Moe, Specialty Land Services. So you'll open up that profile and complete it. Put in your phone number, your website address, your messaging that you use, drag and drop in, cut and paste in some photos. That's fantastic. Put in your address, put in your hours, all that kind of stuff. That's what Google asks. And you need to do that, because when you Google that stuff around here, bush hogging around our area, gravel driveway repair, boom, I come up. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that no one else does it, which is fascinating. So there you go. It's not rocket science, but it's just something you need to do. Create your profiles. Item number 14, business cards. All right. You, with everything that you do visually, you need to think about how it comes across. How does it make you look? Does it make you look like an idiot? Does it make you look like a rock star? Does it make you look like you're super professional? Does it make you look like an easygoing guy? Does it, or does it make you look like anything? Okay, great. You need to think about how it makes you look. All right. So, the same thing is true with your business cards. So your business card, I've got some easy options for you here. Okay. And it's inexpensive and it's easy to do. So just remember that it projects your image, and you want to look sharp, like you know what you're doing. Okay. And even if you don't, right, you got to fake it till you make it. Right. You will. You're not stupid. You're smart. You're going to figure things out. If something doesn't go right, you'll fix it. Right. So you're sharp. Just know that you're sharp. You're going to hop on moo.com, M-O-O, like a cow moves. Hop on moo.com, cut and paste in your logo, your brief messaging. You're going to want to use the front and the back. Here are the pictures of my cards. On the front, I have my logo, and on the back, I have my messaging. On the back, I also have a QR code, which is extremely easy to do, and it's free. And now you can do it even better than what I did. Guess what? You can do that for free. And I found out, and so I'm telling you, what you need to do is get on qrcodemonkey.com, and you can have a QR code. You can have it in the shape of your logo. You can put any kind of emoji in the middle of it. You can do anything. It's really kind of cool. So what are the two QR codes? You can see right there. I've got one for my website and then one for my videos. Why do I do that? Well, I'll tell you how I use my business cards and flyers to get business in my next video, but I'll tell you that it's really fun to have those business cards around. Like if you're tailgating for a game, you're hanging out with friends, you're at a cookout, you're going to a movie, you bump into somebody, you all start talking. Hey, what's new with you? And you tell them about hey, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing this on the side. They're like, oh, that's kind of cool. I know so-and-so, or I might need that. You pull out your business card and you hand it to them, and they're like, really, you're doing this? What do you do? And boom, you pull up their phone, have them hovered over the QR code, touch it, and it goes straight to your videos, and you're showing them videos of you doing work. That's really cool, right? Or the videos that you pull off of the Ventrac website that shows that your equipment in action. And you say, yeah, this is what I do. And, so it's really awesome to have that. But the thing is, you want to make it easy for people to find out what you do, know what you do, see what you do, so that they can either tell others or call you. One other thing about business cards, you choose the super thick paper stock. You don't want some flimsy, silly thing. Number 15, flyers. Here are some examples of my flyers, and I'm going to tell you how you can create them easily. And then in my next video, I'm going to tell you how to use them. All right. So first thing is you're going to use the same messaging. You're going to use the same QR codes. Right? You're going to type these up in Word. You're going to use the entire sheet of paper. You're going to use the front and the back. And essentially, it's a mini website that you're going to have with you, right? It's going to show you what problems you solve, how you solve them, why you're different, how to get in touch with you. And you're going to have photos of all the types of work you do. Look at the back of mine right here. This is the back of mine. And I show them what I do. I make it easy for people. If I'm talking with people, which is what I use these for, I make it, and I also leave them behind and put them in different places. And I'll share all that with you and how you use these tools my next video. But you want to make it easy for people to know exactly what it is that you do and what problems you solve, because they may not know that they have that problem until you show them. Like if you show, pond banks or moving stumps or creek banks and beds, pond banks and beds, backs of steep dams, whatever it might be, all the different types of work that you do. And I'm all thinking about the things that I do with my Ventrac equipment. Okay. Because you want to spark their imagination, and they might have an elderly parent that needs you, or an elderly family member. Who knows? When you're talking with people, you never know who's going to need your service. So make it really easy for them to know all the things you do, because they can't read your mind. There's a couple of reasons you're going to use this. One is it makes you look more professional. It makes you look more like you know what you're doing, even if you don't. Right? Because you got to fake it till you make it. You're sharp. You can do what it says you can do on the paper. Just get out there and do it. So have confidence in yourself. You can do it. It's not rocket science. There's nothing to it. As I say frequently, there's nothing to it but to do it. Get out there and try. You never know. Just try it. When it comes time to print it, you get it printed at the local FedEx store, formerly, Kinko's back in the day. Get it printed there. Use thicker stock paper, right? And it might cost you $100 to get you about several hundred of these. All right. So it's not that expensive. You're going to have them with you all the time, and they are a great tool. Stay tuned in my next video to find out how I use these. Number 16, signs. You want to use that same messaging, but on a sign, you're going to keep it very, very brief, few words. The key here is you want to make it easy for them to see the problem you solve and how to call you. Here are some examples of my signs. Okay. Some points here. Never use all caps. All right. You can read upper lowercase text 12 times faster than you can all caps text. Okay. Type up your signs in Word, expand out your margins all the way, use the full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, type up these signs, try all kinds of different versions and see which ones you like, bounce them off people you know and trust and see what they think. The key is, can they read it? And does it say what you're going to do and how to call you? All right, try lots of variations and take a look at all my different examples. When you're ready to print them out, you can email these to your local fast sign shop, and they'll send you a quote and a proof. And you can take a look at it and you can make some changes. All right. And they're going to print it off on the plastic signs that have flutes, holes that go through them. Do not get the metal stands that go in them because they're going to flap around and make it really easy for them to be removed. So what you do want to do is you want to have them printed with the flutes that go through them instead of up and down, which they're used to hold the sign. You want them horizontal. Why is that? Well, when you put them up, wind is going to bend them. If they're vertical, wind is going to bend them and they'll flap around. Now, but all my signs out there that have the flutes on them horizontal, they are flat as a board and they look fantastic. I'll tell you about how to use these signs, where to hang them so they won't get removed in my next video. Number 17, your email signature. So you're going to use your same messaging on your email signature. I use Apple Mail, so I'll go up to File and Options, I believe it is, and you find email signature and you create it there. So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to cut and paste in your logo. You're going to put your email address. You're going to put the things that you do, the type of work that you do. You're going to put your phone number. You're going to put your email address and your website on there. Okay. Here's an example of mine, the way it looks, and it makes you look sharp, and it takes you 5 seconds and you're done. Some people need an invoice. You're going to click Insert Header, and you're going to cut and paste your logo into the header. And then you're going to click Insert and then Footer. And in the footer, you're going to insert your mailing address, your phone number, and your website address and your email address. And then in the middle, you're going to put your invoice information. Here's what one of my invoices looks like. Take a look at it. So I've got invoice date, to, from, job date, job location, job description. And then I put it on there. Then I put amount due and payable. So you don't have to have any terms. You just put the amount due and payable, and that means it's due now. All right, items number 18 and 19 together. Videos, and then where are you going to host your videos? So videos are critical to getting and maintaining business. So you can use your own video. I'm going to tell you how I use mine, and then I'm going to tell you how to use somebody else's video when it doesn't take you any time at all. All right, so use your own video. I use my iPhone. I've used GoPros in the past, which I still have. If you've got a camera that has video capability, you can do that. You're going to need a tripod that's going to hold an iPhone attachment, which is right here, and it'll go horizontal either way. So you need that attachment to go on the top of your tripod, and you're golden. Just shoot some videos. What I try to do is move my camera around to show different angles of what I do. I try not to be repetitive. What if you don't want to make your own video? Great. So Ventrac has a great resource on this in their media page on their website. You can pull down all kinds of videos, and they've got a ton of great videos with great music, really good editing, all kinds of good stuff. So videos, you don't want to use your videos, use theirs. It's easy. Now the thing about making videos is you're going to get better with practice. I had longer videos to start off with. Now I try to keep mine around 5-6 minutes long, and you're going to get better, and they are going to become invaluable in getting business. And I will share with you how to do that in my next video about how to use these tools.